Hello, friends. So do you have overactive pelvic floor muscles? Do you have underactive pelvic floor muscles? I encourage you to check out that little grid and use all of the different outcomes. You know, you've been self-checking yourself. You've been self-checking your symptoms. You've been self-checking your bladder, bowel, sexual function. And then you've been actually self-checking your own structures. And so use that little grid to kind of see what direction might be helpful to go. And we're going to go over that more in one of the later modules. Right now, I'm going to go over some of the most helpful interventions that I have seen and used with my patients over the years for overactive pelvic floor muscles. The first one that we're going to start with is called perineal massage. This is where the anatomy is going to come in so helpful. So first off, let's identify where that perineum is. Here's the vaginal opening, here's the anus, and the perineal body is this area of skin in between the vaginal opening and the anus. I have a list of directions that I'm going to go through. And again, these are things that I have found to be very helpful with my patients and different people that I've worked with over the years. If you have a step that you want to skip, or you have a way that feels better to your body, you know, I am not saying this is how you have to do it. I'm introducing you to this concept, okay? So here we go. First off, privacy. This is not a family activity, okay? So I want you to go somewhere where you can be alone. Whether it be, I think a lot of times it's very helpful to be in the bathtub, because when we look at position, number 3 here is the position. And so I love a bathtub because most of the time you're able to recline back, you have leg support on either side, and you can go into that bathroom and lock the door. Yes, okay, because you don't want anybody else barging in on you when you are connecting with your body this way. So privacy. Now preparing. So number 1, making sure that you're cleared for insertion. So there might be a variety of reasons why you may not be recommended to have anything inserted into you right now. One of the most common ones would be if you're, you know, postpartum within that 0 to 6 weeks, you likely have not been cleared for insertion. So make sure you're cleared for insertion. Nails. So you want to have short, smooth, clean nails and hands, okay? This is not the time for long nails that are jagged. You know, you're going to be touching some of the most intimate areas of your body. And so we want to have good clean hands, and I don't want you to injure the tissue, okay? Lubrication. It's up to you what kind of lubrication you want to use, what feels good to you. I love coconut oil. That's one of my favorite, you know, lubricants. If you're using this lubricant also for sex, for insertion of either a penis or another object, make sure, especially if it's a penis and you're using a condom for pregnancy prevention, that you don't use an oil-based lubricant. Okay, so lubrication, soothing environment. So have all of these things ready to go. Now, position, I want you to be in a relaxed position. Sometimes people say do this in the shower or standing up. And if that's your last resort, that's better than not doing it. But, you know, when you're standing, your pelvic floor muscles are more engaged and they're not as relaxed. And so I want you to try to turn those muscles off and be in a nice, relaxed position. Breathing. So, like with all the other stretches and things we've been doing throughout this month, breathing is very, very important. So many times, if we're fearful about something, or if something has caused us pain in the past, then we tense up. And so ensure that you're breathing, doing that diaphragmatic breath where your rib cage is expanding, your belly is expanding, and you're not holding your breath. Now you're going to identify tender or restricted areas. So especially, let's say you had a tear, a perineal tear. So you're going to start here. And so feel like you've already identified these in your self-check, I hope, but if you need to get a little refresher, go ahead. And so identify tender, so you're going up and down, side to side, clockwise, counterclockwise, in and out. And identify where there's tender areas or restricted areas. Then once you do that, we are applying light pressure, okay? And then we're going to do deep pressure. So let's go over that here. So light pressure would just be just barely kind of moving that skin, okay? So get familiar with your body. This is likely a new activity for you, so take your time. There's no rush here. So side to side, up and down. And remember, if you touch this anus, we don't want to come up here, okay? So avoid the actual anus if you're going to be close to this area, because we don't want to introduce any of the bacteria here and here. Okay, so clockwise circles, counterclockwise circles, and then in. What's underneath this soft tissue? It's the pelvic floor muscles, right? Check out our anatomy. So this is underneath when you're doing that perineal massage. You have multiple muscles that attach there. So that's the light pressure, and kind of work from the top of the perineal body down to the bottom. And then again, if you're down here, and especially if you scarred, if you had a perineal tear all the way like a 3rd or 4th degree tear, then you're going to want to make sure you wash your hands before you go back up to the top. Then after you do light pressure, then you're going to do deep pressure. And I don't want pain. So I want a stretching pressure, you know, like if you, let's say that you kind of feel your upper trap here, your shoulder, and you've been working all day at the computer. Ooh, this feels so good. But it's a good kind of pain, almost like you're pressing on it. You can feel that muscle tightness. You kind of press and hold and stretch and go side to side. Same concept down here. So I don't want like sharp shooting pain, numbness or tingling, that kind of thing, but deeper pressure. And so you're going to go deeper pressure side to side, deeper pressure up and down, clockwise, counterclockwise, and then in and out. And then you'll repeat that as you go down. Ideally, you're doing this 3 to 5 minutes, but if it feels good to you to do it for 10 or 15 minutes, do it 10 or 15 minutes. You know, there's no time that specifically says you have to cut it off at this time. I don't want you to get too sore. So especially if you're new to this, I would err on the side of caution in terms of your pressure and the length of time. And then ideally doing this every other day, 3 to 5 times a week, until you get on a good maintenance program. And then you may even be able to do it less frequently, or be able to maintain your muscle function with some of the other things that we're doing. So that is perineal massage.